Busan International Film Festival, Korea's and one of Asia's representative film events, will kick off in less than a week. The city, known for its cinema and beaches, turns into a huge celebration venue, bringing together filmmakers and film lovers from around the world. Let's take a peek into what we can expect at this year's event with our movie expert, Jae Soh, professor and filmmaker at Seoul Institute of the Arts. So welcome back, Professor Soh. Happy Friday.
Hi, Professor.
Happy Friday.
All right, so at this year's BIFF, we have even more to celebrate because it's the 30th anniversary. So what's the significance of this event? And also, what does the city of Busan mean to filmmakers?
Well, I just remember, it's one of my favorite festivals because I volunteered for the festival early on. And I remember director Park Chan-wook, who's a famous director, he's on the sort of the board for the film festival. He told me that they chose Busan because it's sort of like the second biggest city in Korea. Also, it's kind of a cultural hub for many different people coming from Asia and all around Europe and things like that. So they wanted to establish another city besides Seoul. And really, I think they made a wise choice. And of course, as you said, Busan is a kind of a cultural hub. And I think with sort of like right now, K-pop Demon Hunters is huge. And I always think when people come over, they're like, they want to see Seoul, they want to go to Jeju-do, they want to go to Busan. So Busan has a big significance. And also this year, as you said, it's the 30th anniversary. So it's 30 years old. And it's the biggest film festival so far. They have 241 films from 64 countries. That's a lot. And basically, they've extended the film festival to more venues and more films. And this year, I think there's a huge cachet of filmmakers and stars. So you have Marco Bellaccio, also Guillermo del Toro. You have Sean Baker. These are all big names in cinema. And then you have people like Juliette Binoche, famous actress, and Mia Jovovich from Resident Evil. They're all coming here. So it's going to be a huge celebration, in Busan.
Sounds exciting, and I'm also excited about the opening film because it's director Park Chan-wook's No Other Choice, or 어쩔 수가 없다. And I mean, it already received a standing ovation at the Venice International Film Festival, and the premiere in Korea is at BIFF. So how do you expect the response to be from the public?
It's one of the most anticipated movies. It hasn't released in Korea yet, but I think when I was here 2 weeks ago, we were hoping that it won the Venice Film Festival, but unfortunately, another filmmaker I really respect, Jim Jarmusch, won that. But I think No Other Choice, basically one of the best filmmakers in Korea is Park Chan-wook, so he's coming back. And this movie, as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, it's a sort of a black comedy about the main character is played by Lee Byung-won, and it's about somebody that loses their job, and they'll go to extreme lengths to try to get a new job. And it's sort of a unification of Park Chan-wook's, basically his first big hit was Joint Security Area, which starred Lee Byung-won. So we're all looking forward to this movie. Yeah, that's for sure.
Definitely. And Lee Byung-won will also be hosting at the BIFF as well. So that's also something to look out for as well. And it's actually, this year is the first time BIFF is introducing a competition section, right? So what does this mean in terms of reputation of BIFF? And is there any film that you're kind of paying attention to?
Well, personally, I think it's unfortunate that they're having competition section. They didn't have it because what it means is if you have a competitive section in the film festival, it means every other film festival in the world, like Cannes or Venice or Berlin, they're going to be like, which film is Busan going to present? So everybody is sort of very jealously guarding the type of films that they choose for their competition section. Fortunately for 29 years, Busan didn't have that, so they were able to showcase movies that won awards from other festivals. But since they're going to do it, I think it's a good time to do it on its 30th anniversary. And I want to recommend 3 films. One of the films is a Korean film, and one of the cool things about this section is there are a lot of first-time directors. So we have a director, Lee Ji-han, and it's a movie called By Another Name. That is featured. And then this movie, it's sort of like, when I saw the trailer, it looked like a very homage to Hong Sang-soo, slow moving takes. But it seemed to be very self-reflective and beautiful. And then there's a movie by a Japanese filmmaker called Shoei Miyake called 2 Seasons, 2 Strangers. And basically that movie is, it has Shim Eun-kyung the actress, Korean actress. She's one of the stars of that movie, and this movie won at the Locarno, the Golden Leopard film. And then the third film I want to introduce is another Japanese filmmaker's film called Leave the Cat Alone by director Daisuke Shigaya. And in this movie, in the trailer, what I noticed is like it's just visually stunning because, again, camera's really far away, shooting objectively, a lot of shots of just following the characters. So I think those films kind of reflect sort of both sort of the emerging kind of Asian, filmmakers that are coming out as like the new generation of filmmakers to watch.
I'm especially excited about the movie with Sim Eun-kyung because I mean having a Korean actress speaking perfectly in Japanese and acting is really not an easy thing.
Right.
Yeah, her career, she did basically Sunny.
Yeah.
She's famous for movies like that, and she was a huge star here. And then she went over to Japan and did a lot of work there. And she's come back now, and she was starred in the movie The Killers in 2023 recently. Yeah.
We'll definitely look out for those 3 movies that you have mentioned. How about programs? Is there any special programs that viewers or visitors could look out for?
Yeah, this year, the 30th anniversary, they have a lot of special programs. There's a section called Defining Moments of Asian Cinema. There's also Marco Bellocchio, the filmmaker who's never stopped raising his fist, so his movies are kind of special. We also have a section on Juliette Binoche, Between Motion and Emotion. And there's one section that I want to introduce called Carte Blanche. As you know, carte blanche in French means blank check. And this is a section that's kind of special because it features not movies by the filmmakers, but movies that filmmakers and people on this sort of the programmers who are special that influence them, movies that influence them. So, for example, Bong Joon-ho, the director. We have Maggie Kang, who just directed K-pop Demon Hunters. We have the actor Kang Dong-won. We have a novelist Eun Hee-kyung, and then we have Son Seok-ki, who's sort of a journalist and anchor.
Right.
And so these are movies in this section where they're going to introduce the people that programmed them. They're going to talk about how those movies were sort of like influential in their lives.
Wow, what a lineup and very exciting programs. And the Busan International Film Festival also, of course, serves as a marketplace for the film industry itself and also to exchange ideas between directors and actors. Especially this year, we're seeing many renowned people from the film industry coming to BIFF. So how meaningful is that for Busan and Korea?
Well, it's a really great honor, and also, I've participated in that market before as a producer, and it's really a kind of a wonderful opportunity to meet sort of people that are coming to buy your films. So it's really like a market in the commodities films, and so we also call it APM for Asian Project Market. And in this year, as you said, some renowned people from Bollywood. We have Alia Bhatt, who's a huge star of Bollywood cinema. She has a film that her mother directed, which is really interesting. So we have that. We also have director Kapadia with a movie called Twilight of a Warrior that's coming in. And also we have a lot of movies by movie director from Hong Kong, Chiang. So this section is where basically it's a project that's already been made or projects that are being developed. So I just remember when you go to the market, it's really kind of, instead of going to a flea market, you're in a market where everybody's talking about the movies that you already made. So you're really sitting there showing trailers, and sort of you have a kit to show the people, and then you would have a buyer from Spain coming and saying, what kind of movie it is and things like that. And when I was there, I was trying to sell a movie we're about to make with a script and everything. So that's one of the great attractions about Busan, is that you're able to go there and sort of experience all this as well.
Definitely. And it's actually now the 30th year of BIFF. And BIFF is becoming a reason for foreign tourists to visit Busan and Korea as well. So what impact do you think such film festival like BIFF has on the tourism aspect or the cultural aspect of Busan and Korea?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, Busan is the second largest city in Korea, and it seems like it's a course now for a lot of people that come because of K-pop and K-dramas, is that they visit Jeju Island, they go to Busan. And I think because the film festival has been there for 30 years, I know that everybody in Busan, they have a pride, sort of like what people in Bucheon have about their festivals, that they feel like it's now sort of their, sort of the pride of having this kind of incredible world event happening in their city. And so you have sort of a cultural hub happening where all these tourists are coming, not just to visit Korea, but also to meet stars from the festival. And this year we're getting big stars from like basically all the corners of Asia, Europe, United States, all kind of congregating in this one spot. And I think I still remember when I went to the first Busan Film Festival, like I think it was the third one. And it wasn't as developed as this one. We didn't have cinemas, and it wasn't showing at movie theaters. But I just remember you have the fish markets in Busan, really famous. And afterwards, you go to have a drink and soju with like soju and fish over there. And then you just meet famous people everywhere. You just turn around and it was just like stars everywhere. So I would definitely recommend everybody going to the film festival if they're really interested in that.
All right, and last but not least, Professor Soh, you did mention some of the recommendations among the competitive section, but which movies are you looking forward to?
So this is a section called the Icon section, and this one, there's two films that I want to introduce. One is called Begonia, which I think I mentioned in the last time I came. And this is a Yorgos Lanthimos. He's a really hot director. And this is a remake of a Korean movie called Save the Green Planet by Jang Jun-han. And this one has Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. And basically, it's the same story. It's about these kind of like low-life, crook kind of people. They kidnap a really powerful CEO thinking that she's an alien.
Oh.
So it's like Yorgos Lanthimos' movies are kind of really special already, so I think it's going to be really exciting. And then another movie is called A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey by Kogonaga, and he's a Korean filmmaker, Korean-American, and he's known for movies like After Yang, and he also directed, basically a lot of OTT series. So in this movie, it stars Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell, huge names, right? And it's a kind of a love story about two people like, what if they had done this type of thing, and they fall into a fantasy world both of them are experiencing. And this director's really exciting because he's sort of like a Korean guy, but he was like does all his work in America. So I think right now with like a series like K-pop Demon Hunters, it's time for a lot of Kyopos or Korean Americans sort of shine in the limelight right now. So.
And we do see that happening quite a lot these days. Well, thank you very much, Professor Soh, for your insights. And we hope that the 30th anniversary of BIFF will be a big success and that we can even expand further our film industry to the world.
Definitely. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Bella, as always. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back next week.
Yes, I'll see you back next week.